All right, welcome to Smokey Approved Korea. I'm your boy Jurnalist, and on this one, we are back for another Boris City magazine video. This one kind of just popped up through my little algorithm. However, I've been seeing a lot of comments from you guys being very supportive of the channel and my, we'll say, endeavors, and you guys are saying that you want me to blow up faster, and I would love that as well. However, in doing this, and then also in the way I'm working in, we'll say, my music career now, outside of just doing like studio work and where I'm actually on the stage a lot more, or I'm like the front man of things, I kind of made the same decision, but like in a roundabout way, because I'm doing things I never thought I would be doing when it comes to being able to perform live, or some of the stuff that I'm doing on the internet, or the people that I get to work with professionally. So when I seen this video, I was like, that's right up my alley. So this one is going to be a decision for longevity. And yeah, just wanted to check it out and kind of see what I could glean from it. And then also what the boys have decided on, we'll say, their reasons for longevity. Because I think for me, I've decided to do longevity because I just like to have this be my job until I die. Not just the YouTube part of it, but like more so like the music side of things. Like that's what I want to do and be doing. And I don't want to do anything else. So I'm not really worried about massive success or anything. I just want to kind of keep my head down, stay out the way, be able to provide for myself, and then just make the music I could be proud of. That's where it begins and ends for me. All the other stuff is, we'll say, like icing on the cake. So that's why I picked this video. That's all my him and hawing before the video. If you could, please hit that like, subscribe. Patreon's in the description. A new song is out as well. It's in the description as well. Another new song comes out next week, but we will start talking about that later. Yeah, let's get into this video and see what we got, though.
An event in BTS's latest festa, an event to celebrate their debut anniversary, the members of BTS announced that they will be focusing on solo projects for a while. According to the YouTube video's translation, that said that even though they are not disbanding, they will go on hiatus to focus on solo activities for a while, and after this break, they will come back as a group. After some hours, ARMY translators noticed that there were many mistranslations in the English subtitles, and that they didn't actually mention the word hiatus, just that they will be focusing more on solo projects. This Twitter user said, "We overreacted, I fear. It's a hiatus from group activities. They will still meet up and do Run BTS episodes in a while." After these 5 hours of confusion, HYBE released a statement to clarify things and calm the commotion. They said, BTS's solo projects plan, it's not a hiatus, as they will still be working on projects as a group, as well as individually. So in other words, they are still together. It's a break from extreme non-stop work. But what kind of group activities will they continue doing? A Big Hit Music official said, "It's not a declaration of a suspension of activity, but a notice of individual activities for Chapter 2. It's a different form of activity than before." Now, we don't fully know what kind of group activities they will continue doing, but we know that some confirmed projects are the comeback of their variety show Run BTS, the song/performance for Hyundai, the Chakho webtoon, and commercials. After this, Jungkook went live on a V Live titled What's Going On, and he said, "I thought I needed to come here to set things straight. The Bangtan team dinner was meant to be this place where we can comfortably chat and everything. I promise you, we have absolutely no plan to disband. I hope everyone understands we're not disbanding and we're not stopping group promotions. I guess that's all there is to say on the matter." He mentioned he's seen all the news and chaos of BTS's disbanding, they're not working anymore as a group, and wanted to come reassure armies and clear things up. "We're not disbanding. We're not going on hiatus. We'll be filming Run BTS. And the members and I think it's the same for you. But we felt tired and felt like we were standing still in the same place. It's a time for us to recharge. So we're thinking of doing stuff individually. And since we have lots of things piled up, I think we can actually show you more stuff. And we're not going to stop group activities at all. So we hope you don't think that way." Later, Namjoon released a letter, which according to ARMY translators, has a strong and firm tone and is directed to the media. He wrote, "I have received the most messages and calls since our debut. I saw screenshots and headlines of articles, and there were a lot of stimulating words like disband, hiatus, etc. It's not like it was unexpected, but it feels bitter. It's not like we were hoping they, journalists, would watch our show filled with tears and laughter till the end to write their opinions. But Festa Dinner is a casual type of content, and the date it was released and the symbolic meaning of the date is completely dedicated for our army who was with us for 9 years. People outside may think that we are making a fuss or we are are spoiled. I'm sure other artists and fans are like this too, but we have a special bond with ARMY as we were sharing a lot for almost 10 years. What we shared on the Festa dinner was a confession to the fans that were interacting with us, the fans that never asked anything to return. Everyone who watched the video will know, and from the title yet to come, what we honestly wanted to say was that right now is not the end. Only the screenshots of me crying became viral, and it's spreading, and of course I wonder if I should have been brave enough to share. The courage, to be honest, always lead to unnecessary misunderstandings. What I want to tell you is we're not saying one when we really mean two. We're not circling around meanings. We're saying one is one, and we wanted to share all the process with courage and tears. I believe that armies that know us will understand. What we said on the video is everything as it is. Jungkook and Taeyeon explain well on Be Live, but we always think and talk about the future of BTS very truthfully. Although I am afraid this message can cause another fuss or poor gas in the noises, as I am the first person in the story/discussion, I would like to simply explain, we thank everyone who watched the video, giving us positive support, love and energy, whether from close or far, whether as an individual and or as a team. We will continue to show the best of me, us. This ARMY account.
Okay. So what, at least because I get retrospect of being able to watch this stuff in today's timeline versus what's this, like 2 years ago or something when they had this dinner. So I know exactly how dedicated they are to actually coming back and staying as a group and all of these things. So it does suck that we'll say these special moments get turned into shoddy, like just shit journalism and just like attempts to kind of just put cracks into a group that you can't really see cracks into, but you build the narrative you want because that narrative will give you clicks. And that's where I'm just like, some niggas should be in jail right now. Just lock they fucking ass up. If you want to write media this way and you need to sell it that way to be able to get clicks, one, you should get the fuck out the job. Two, you should be in fucking jail. And three, that's what makes at least the fan base rally around them from what the media does in that regard. But then also, this is just tinfoil hat me thinking, maybe they knew so much more early, even though that's definitely not the way you're supposed to say that. That's terrible English. But maybe they knew earlier that they were going to make the decision that they were going to make when it came to their military enlistment, that announcing the solo work and beginning to hedge towards that, and then announcing that they were going to do the military enlistment a little bit after that, kind of made the 1-2 punch a little bit lighter on the fan base, but then also kind of primed people to be like, well, cool. Like, if they do this, then they do that, and then we get everybody back after this. And it just kind of makes it a little bit more palatable, even though it's not things that we'll say Army wanted to have to go through, or at least how I look at it, because everybody could tell me all the nice things about XYZ and what they've said about what they've learned about going into the military and how they've enjoyed it, but so could people with Stockholm Syndrome, and that's how I view it. Unless a man was wanting to go to the military without having to be forced to go to the military, I'm not hearing it, because there is a form of cultural and national indoctrination that happens. I'll give you an example. The things that happen in the UK sometimes, they really baffle my brain, because in the UK, there's a culture of when you get done wrong, for you to come up with an equivocation or an explanation on why this thing has been done wrong and how you could be better by being wronged. I just don't understand how it happens. My example is there's a TV show called The Rap Game UK. It's probably in other countries as well. But imagine going on a TV show and the person that is supposed to be the host that's going to help you get into the music industry has at least $1.5 million worth of jewelry on and is getting paid good money, like at least maybe $100,000 to be the host on that show. And they say they want to give you an opportunity by filming you and then also giving you $20,000 as a winning prize, while the person on the show has 4x whatever you plan on giving me, plus the residual money that they're going to make from licensing agreements and all of these things. And they should tell you to be happy with just $20,000 and some exposure, while they have all the money in the world. That's so predatory to me. It's so predatory. However, if you tell this to a person in the UK, they're going to be like, oh, well, like the last guy that won it, like Captain Conan, they don't share his music, but he took $20,000 and he's done pretty well for himself. And I'm just like, you just explained away why the predation is okay. And I'm just like, I don't understand these things. It just, it really blows my mind. So this is why when I say that in the most roundabout and long-winded way, maybe they were already planning on doing all of these things, and because they were already planning on it, this is the best way to roll it out. Now, I've said all this without actually knowing concretely what the timeline is of when they announced they were going to possibly do military service, but if I'm correct in timeline at least, this part of what I have to say is not a waste. And yeah, that was all I have to say so far.
Said something that I find very interesting. Namjoon Weaver's letter is to the journalist who exaggerated and purposefully misinterpreted and made clickbait articles using the dinner video and BTS's announcement. His tone is so direct and protective of BTS and us. So, for what I can recall, I believe there are two main reasons for this slowing down of group activities. Number one is burnout. Namjoon said, "I started music and became BTS because I had a message for the world, but I didn't know what I would do after on. Then COVID-19 came up, so we did Dynamite, Butter, PTD, Life Goes On, and I realized the group has definitely changed. For me, it was like the group was within my grasp until On and Dynamite, but after Butter and PTD, I didn't know what kind of group we were anymore. Whenever I write lyrics and songs, it's really important what kind of story and message I want to give out. They will usually have a strong message, but that became harder for them during the pandemic." King Media said, "As such, BTS has comforted people all over the world who are struggling with Corona-19 and anti-Asian hate crimes, but the fact that they have suffered unspeakable difficulties due to identity confusion and non-stop activities is heartbreaking. That said, it's important to not twist their words and act like they dislike these releases. They were experimenting just like they have always done. Their school trilogy sounds extremely different to their youth trilogy, and to the Wings era, to the Love Yourself era, and to the Map of the Soul era. Let's not act like they changed their sound once they became mainstream in the US, because they have always experimented with their sound." I saw a tweet that I cannot find that said that they are doing what they're talking about on Black Swan. They are slowing down to prevent an artist's first death, which is an artistic death. So this is a necessary step. The second reason they mention is the K-pop system. Namjoon talked about how in K-pop, time moves fast and a new album is expected out of you even before it's properly experienced. This person says, "I can't imagine the creative energy that takes a toll on you to keep creating." Namjoon and the other members of BTS are craving for growth, and the K-pop system is preventing that. Namjoon said, "I don't know what kind of story I should tell now. I've always thought that BTS was different from other groups, but the problem with K-pop and the whole idol system is that they don't give you enough time to mature. You have to keep producing music and keep doing something. After I get up in the morning..."
That's exactly why I've also do what I want to do when it comes to like working musically. So in, we'll say, hip hop, there's a lack of maturity that is allowed and a lack of growth that is allowed. If you know who Pusha T is, Pusha T's been rapping about selling cocaine for the past 25, 30 years. And me as one of his biggest fans, he better not fucking dare think about trying to stop rapping about cocaine, because I love it. High fashion cocaine and good looking women is his bag. And that's the problem. Because why can't he? Why can't he go rap about anything else he wants to? He's good enough to do so. But in the genre that we work in, we'll say foremost, that's not allowed. And that's something that I seen with Kendrick as well, and why I really respected all the albums that he's put out. Even if not everyone has been my favorite, I still respect it artistically, because upon his audience and upon the genre, he forced maturity that you have to accept, or you just get the fuck out the way. I don't care. I'm going to make the art I want, because no album sounds the same, but it is the same artist. And you watch an artist grow and mature and turn into a fully fledged artist by the time that now, when he's kind of reverted back to Section 80, it's revitalizing and galvanizing again in a way that if he had did Good Kid, Mad City and then did Good Kid, Mad City 2, nobody would have cared. And then you just have to keep giving us that over and over and over and over. And how do you keep telling that same story over and over in a way that actually makes you one of the greatest artists that we've seen probably in the past 20 years? You can't. But if you do what he did, look at it. And this is where I'm like, the K-pop system, I guess that's also probably why I've enjoyed watching what I've been watching from K-pop and watching BTS is I see a lot of parallels between what's allowed in rap and what they're forced to have to do in K-pop, because it just feels the same. There's the kind of constraints and blocks and timelines that you must produce in if you want to compete at a certain level. And that's at least where for me, I just do whatever the hell I want because I realize that if I don't put myself in any box and I consistently provide quality, then you can't put me in any box. And you can't tell me I'm not allowed to do that because the last thing I did was quality. And the next thing I do after that is quality. And if it's consistent quality, how can you say no? That's at least what I'm thinking is going to be my formula for moving forward. I have no idea, but it's an attempt to try and not have to be forced into like a burnout or be forced to have to do things that I don't want to do because people like that one kind of song from me.
And time to mature. You have to groups, but the problem with K-pop and the whole idol system is that they don't give you enough time to mature. You have to keep producing music and keep doing something. After I get up in the morning and get makeup done, there's no time left for growth. And it's not just about music and work. I've changed as a human over the past 10 years, so I needed to think and have some time alone, and then those thoughts can mature into something uniquely mine. I could balance this with work, but after 10 years of living as BTS and working all our schedules, I can't physically mature anymore. There was something I wanted to do in this world, and right now, when we're at our best, I feel like I should be contributing something to the world, but I don't know what that is, and I still have to keep working. There's just no time for me to think. I have to be aware of who I am, what kind of group BTS is. I need to be aware of why I'm here, who the members are to me, the path we're going to take as a group, to go through interviews and write lyrics. But at some point, I haven't been sure what group we are. For me, it was a big deal that I didn't know what we're going to do as a group from now on. I don't know what kind of direction our group has to take. So basically, this slowdown of group activities is necessary for longevity. Actually, Yoongi talked about this in their GQ interview in 2021. He said, if you love something too much, there comes a time when you have to give it up for that very reason. You need to keep it at a certain distance if you want to pursue it for a long time, and if you don't want to be consumed by it. So how much will this affect or damage BTS's popularity? In my opinion, not that much, or at least it shouldn't. Just look at their Western counterparts. The pace of Western artists is completely different to BTS's pace. That's one of the most culture shock moments of getting into BTS, the pace of the project releases. I'm used to artists taking 2 to 5 years between projects. In K-pop, it seems like people want at least one full album every year, if not more. It's insane. BTS have to put up with way too many double standards, both in K-pop and the West. They are the one artist that had to frequently release content to satisfy the K-pop industry.
I would say it's an unfair double standard, but it's like when you're the first of anything. You're going to die on the sword before anybody else. So it'll be a lot easier for those after you. When you are the biggest thing to come from K-pop, and then you are the first bridge to a Western, we'll say, music industry in a actual substantial way, yeah, you're going to have to deal with those double standards. Is it fair? No. But is that exactly why I think the group that is BTS are the best ones for that? Is because they not only were able to maintain those double standards, but they're also able to become big enough to be like, you know what, we can change them. And they were aware that the change needed to happen, because most people that are that first person and then they're also the bridge, they don't utilize that power in that way. They just kind of just take things to status quo. And then once they get over the hill, they're just like, oh, well, I made it over the hill and I'm happy to be here. And it's like, well, that's not why we gave you power, bro. Like, we gave you power so you could change shit. And, like, please use your fucking power, because otherwise it's not going to be a healthy ecosystem. The more people come from where we come from are trying to go to where you're trying to go to. And it's unfair. It's definitely unfair. But when you're the first to something, even after being the first, there's going to be a double standard. And it sucks. But that double standard can be changed. The more people that get power and just are like, fuck you, I'm doing whatever the fuck I want, and you can suck an egg. And if you don't like that, here's an extra fuck you. And here's another one. And I think that's how you actually get the change, is more people willing to get the power, utilize it, and move forward with it. Because otherwise, people just get status quo. It's just like how people get older and then they turn into their fucking parents, and they're just like, I'll never be like that. And they're just like your parents, with rigid thought, no want for like growth or maturity within yourself, because you get to a certain age and you get tired and you get old and you be like, well, I don't like that no more. And it's like, you're the problem now, and you used to not be. It's very sad. It's very sad. I've seen this happen to a lot of my friends. A lot of people that said they were very progressive, and then they just turned into a bunch of Tory conservative cunts. And it's just like, oh, Jesus. Not you too, Dylan. Not you, Samantha. And it happens. It's terrible.
West. They are the one artist that had to frequently release content to satisfy the K-pop industry, while also having to produce the same results as Western artists who get years to prepare. When RM talked about how he felt he lost control over the group after Dynamite, imagine spending years writing incredible lyrics and songs, yet your two English tracks are the ones that get Grammy nominations. How incredibly frustrating that might be. Do you know what's crazy? Western artists can take these breaks and no one bats an eye, but there was almost a media frenzy for this news. Western artists almost always have at least 2 years between new releases, often more, and no one bats.
This narrative that no one bats an eye is bullshit. That's bullshit. Niggas was yelling at Kendrick to put out an album between fucking To Pimp a Butterfly and Damn for 5 years. Was yelling at that nigga damn near weekly. When's King Kenny coming back? Like, where's King Kunta? Like, do you get away with it in a Western music industry? Yes, but niggas is complaining. Let's not lie. Like, we don't have to lie to tell the truth. Like, we don't. It's not necessary.
And Eilish. It's infuriating. They will go off and not release a single song for 4 to 5 years, and it's silence from the media. If Western artists don't go on a couple of years between releases, they risk saturating the market and are seen as attention grabbers or unserious. Since I'm talking about other artists, I want to mention that there really isn't any point in comparing this situation to other groups, especially not One Direction. One Direction's hiatus was abrupt and had no warning or reason. They never talk about any artistic reason for their separation because they never talk about their artistic process to begin with. BTS decided to share this with us because we are used to at least 2 big projects every year. They don't have to, but they are sharing this with us because they have a deep respect for their fans. There is one K-pop group that has a comeback every 2 years, leaving their fans confused. The difference is that BTS communicates with ARMY. These other groups not. This fan of that K-pop group said, "Honestly, I don't know why are laughing at ARMYs as if wasn't in a hiatus for 2 years and they are."
My brain just read it. It was like, honestly, I don't know why niggas is laughing. Armies as, oh fuck, how did she do it again? Because
our last groups not. This fan of that K-pop group said, "Honestly, I don't know why
niggas,
are laughing at ARMYs as if
niggas.
wasn't in a hiatus for 2 years."
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is supposed to be serious, and I'm trying. But my childish ass brain, I just heard it like that. I was just like, fuck.
Years, and they are coming back with almost likely a mini album and call it a day. I just know BTS gonna come back before we get another full album. We really have to worry about us first. This ARMY says, "One of my favorite things about BTS is how they demonstrate healthy relationships with each other and with ARMY. When they communicate, they are open, honest, vulnerable. They say things with the expectation we take them at face value. All of this commotion is understandable because there is going to be a big change, but this is an extremely necessary step to transform momentum into longevity. It's really admirable for them to be together for a long time. It's important for them to grow individually too. They need to explore more and find their identity. I personally feel a group remains strong when they all respect and allow every member to grow individually too." Taeyeon talked about how their solo projects are the first step to remain BTS for a long time. Taeyeon said, "We are happy. Though all 7 of our likes, dislikes, personalities, tendencies, and tempos are all different, our thoughts about ARMY are all the same. Now that this is the beginning of our healthy steps taken in order to remain as BTS for a long time, I believe that ARMYs will love that side of us too." Taeyeon also mentioned synergy. "J-Hope told me we could focus on our solo work this time, and later when we gather again as a group, that synergy will be like no other, will be better than before." Of course, it's unfair to compare BTS to soloists who have a long-lasting career, because the dynamic of a group is different and even more complicated, but I want ARMYs to know that there are many groups that
Hold on. I want to just speak on what makes, I think, it all work is say every one of us gets to be in BTS, just so you can follow my train of thought. I probably hate you niggas. But if I hate you, that means I have to love and respect you at a certain level, and how to lessen the tensions and the hate and the animosity, because these things are just natural things that happen when you work with people for a long time. So if we're going to be adults about how actual dynamics within a group work, not everybody likes everybody at all at the same time. And even if we all hold the most love and respect for each other, you might want to do a song I don't want to do. You might want to do a song I don't want to do. However, I want to do songs I want to do. And the allowance and the lack of, we'll say, backbiting and people trying to stop people from expressing themselves in the way that they want, and letting people go make the songs they want. Go do your full album. Go do your full album. Go make the music you want. but keep the quality and the consistency at the same level as what we have as a group. So now you get to go express yourself how you would like, but that helps you grow and mature in the ways that you need to grow and mature. And same for everybody that's in the group. And like they were saying, J-Hope saying, now when we come back, oh, nigga, you got new tools. I got new tools. I'm a new person. You a new person. However, the one constant thread is you was always my nigga. And I was there with you the whole time you was doing your thing. But you didn't have to carry the weight of what it meant to make an album between all of us. But now we want to carry that weight again. And now we can carry it much easier because we've all grown and come back with new tools. So now we get to break music even crazier because we was beating the shit out of music before. But imagine how we going to really jump music when we come back as a group. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be ugly. Going to dog walk that motherfucker. It's going to be stupid. At least this is how I see it. This is why I'm like, as long as they continue to do this and have open communication like they have, I believe this will be like one of the only groups, at least in my lifetime, that I could think of that hasn't broken up or never breaks up, because ain't no need. If I don't like you niggas, I go make a song and an album by myself with whoever the fuck I want. And then when we want to make music together, we can. There's no need to break up. I want to go do acting. Cool. Nigga, go do your acting. Like, I can do whatever I want and still be in a group. What groups allow that? Nobody. But this group do. So why would you want to leave? Like, I could never understand. Like, it would actually break my brain to be like, oh, you mean that nigga say he want to get out the group? For what? We can do everything we want to do by ourselves in the group. Why am I leaving? Community is better than being by yourself. I don't know. At least this is how I see it. This is at least how I see it.
Continue releasing albums and touring, decades after their debuts. The closest example to BTS is Coldplay, who have been releasing albums and touring as a group for more than 23 years. I feel like seeing Coldplay be a band for 20 years while the members did their own things and had their own lives, but still getting together to make music and go on tour must have been such a huge relief to BTS, especially because there really isn't an equivalent in Korea. Jimin said that Proof represented a comma in their journey. Commas make longer sentences, not periods. BTS needs to respect themselves and their limits in order to make the group last for as long as it can, just like Coldplay did. Chris Martin talks about healthy breaks a lot. I'm really glad they become friends with him. Coldplay is going on 20 plus years now. What amazing role models and friends to have in your corner. But it's not only Coldplay. There are bands like Metallica, Iron Maiden, Red Hot Chili Peppers, and many more who have been together for more than 40 years. Metallica is still touring. They have all said that mutual understanding is the reason that they are.
Is it all original members for 40 years? Because if so, these are genres of music. I know these people. I've listened to their music, but they definitely did not come to mind. But if it's all original members, and I mean, I know was it the drummer from Metallica has passed away, I think? So nobody not being in the group from like passing away, that's you get excused for that. But like if y'all kicked the nigga out and then he came back, that don't count. That don't count. And I don't know if that's happened with everybody else.
Are together. Bangtan has that. They understand each other. This is going to be the start of the chapter 2 BTS has been talking about for a while now.
I believe that this awards opens the beginning of our new chapter.
BTS has already announced this on the previous Festa dinner. Chapter 1 is done. Chapter 2 will be focused on each one. Chapter 3 is the moment we meet again. And BTS believe that beginning chapter 2 is slowing down group projects and focusing on solo ones was necessary since the On era. They were actually going to do that after Map of the Soul 7, but the pandemic changed those plans. This was planned for after the tour, but COVID changed their plans. We got extra time with them in this chapter. Be Dynamite and Butter Army, it was your destiny to become ARMY. Don't be sad you haven't been here long. Fate led you to BTS in chapter 1 when these pages weren't planned. Now, we don't really know how long chapter 2 is going to be, but my guess is 2 years. But to be safe, I'm going to say 2 years and a half. This Korean ARMY said, I'm not sure how it seems if you watch it with subtitles, but as far as I can see, it seems like they are thinking 1 to 2 years. They even said they still should run BTS during the hiatus, so like the way they all laughed and Joongi said his current study is 5 years project, and one of them said something like, I don't know, it will be after 1 year or 2, and so on. But this is just my thoughts. Also, if you're worried about the military issue, this theory will also fit, even if they don't all go together. But that is a conversation for another time. 2 years and a half of solo projects and some small group activities before their big comeback is my guess. So, what to do in the meantime? You can catch up on all 156 episodes episodes of Run BTS, 8 festas, 4 Bon Voyage seasons, 2 seasons of In the Soup, 3 BTS movies, 4 documentary series, 7 season greetings, all the past jacket films, all the past...
I ain't never gonna finish, am I? How many of y'all have watched all that shit? Because that just seems like an insurmountable amount of fucking footage to just watch. I've not even scratched the goddamn surface. At least I'm caught up on the solo music. I'm caught up on the solo stuff. The solo stuff was an easy, I was like, I can get my hands around this. Y'all niggas ain't really put out a whole lot. It's because them niggas got an Mount Everest worth of shit behind them. God damn it.
Bangtan Bombs, their concert tour CDs, appearances on Korean reality shows, etc. Let's also not forget that we will get 7 solo full albums, so let's prepare for that because it's not going to be like the previous mixtapes. These are real solo debuts. This person says, I feel like lots of people in the past didn't treat their solo works as comebacks because the members hadn't officially debuted as solo artists, but I hope we're all on the same page that every drop, whether as a group or individual member, will be treated as a full-fledged comeback. I need every BTS solo debut / comeback treated like a BTS comeback by ARMYs and ARMY fanbases. That means goal posters, streaming playlists, ARMY's unique promo methods, music shows voting, radio requests, if a release is pushed to radio, everything. And let's show everyone that BTS will remain on top. K-pop is celebrating BTS's hiatus as if that will make their faves successful. They clearly said they will be focusing on solo projects more, and that means one thing: their solo releases will block, outsell, and outchart K-pop just the way BTS did as a group. In conclusion, please, for your own and BTS's...
Before I'm gonna let her say her conclusion, but I just in my brain it popped in again. In conclusion, you niggas ain't fucking with us. Flat out. Call your mama, tell them about it. You niggas ain't fucking with us. That's what actually, in my American saying, that's how I feel like this has turned out. Because I know what today look like. And today look very dark for the rest of you niggas. Because you're not fucking with us. It's that simple. We outside and we still stomping on you niggas' necks from behind the wall. 2 of my niggas is back though. We need 5 more before we hold again. But still, you're not fucking with us. It's that simple. Now I'm gonna let her say her bit properly.
K-pop just the way BTS did as a group. In conclusion, please, for your own and BTS's sake, ignore people who don't know or understand them well and want to revel in their ignorance about what this all means. They'll realize how dumb they were eventually on their own. Support accurate articles like these ones. Support their solo projects and catch up with their ton of content. And I don't know about you, but I'm intensely learning Korean because once they come back, I want to fully understand them without relying on simplified subtitles. We jokingly talk about legend behavior, but this step is real legend behavior because legends last forever. So let's support BTS's growth and let's help their past and future music last for eternity.
I do think that is a marker that I think we need to put on the list. How many of your favorites made another nigga learn the language? Let's actually talk about that for a moment. All right, cool. You think you got a nigga that's top 5 best, greatest of all time. How many niggas learned another language to do so? Oh, none? Niggas just listen to it without actually learning the language for its nuance and understanding? Then are they really that great? Because there's people that have learned fucking speaking English just from listening to Michael Jackson's albums and actually pick the language up and can have a proper conversation with understanding. There's people that learn Prince's music that way. There's people that have learned so many legendary American acts to do so. There's a small group, niggas, no disrespect if you are from Russia, it's just the first one popped in my brain. But how many niggas learned Russian just to be able to understand it? Now, this is also my actual ignorance, not knowing any, we'll say, massive Russian artists. But this is for sure happened for every person. But I think that's something that needs to be put on the list when niggas want to say they want to be great. How many people did you make learn your culture and language because your music was that good that they needed a piece of it from your side? And what I mean from your side is I need to learn how I want to learn Japanese or how I'm practicing to learn Japanese. I need to learn that shit so I could better communicate and consume the culture that I already enjoy. And I don't feel like I can enjoy it at the level necessary without this. However, is this necessary actually? No. But I'm just saying it's a marker of how influential a legendary person could be or can be or is. When you make somebody feel like they already enjoy your culture so much, but they're not getting enough because they don't have there's a language barrier that is there, and it must be surmounted. Is that the right word? Is it surmounted? I swear surmounted is the word. Yeah. See, come on, boy out here with the lexicon. All right, but yeah, that's my point. That's why I feel like it's something we should put on the list. However, that's enough of my chat. I don't know if you made it to the end. Shout out to you. I just watched this because I see a lot of you guys being very supportive of what I'm doing on and offline. And then some of the people that are supportive, they've never even watched any of the BTS stuff. And they'll just like, yo, you should be like the biggest reactor in this version of whatever you react to on your channel. And I'm just like, just taking it a day at a time. Like, it's going to happen, how it's going to happen, if it's going to happen. Like, I'm not focused on that side of it. If I was probably a little younger, I'd be like, this needs to happen tomorrow. But where I'm at now is I just want to take care of myself, be able to enjoy life how I am, and rely on my talents. I don't want to have to be beholden to any genre, any one thing. I want to be so good at what I believe I do when it comes to music that I don't have to do anything besides the thing I want to do. And finding that space and like not feeling entitled because people around me are becoming successful in ways that I'm like, well, I'd like to do that. Well, it's not meant for you, or it's not meant for me at that time. And just being centered in that and just really letting go of the entitlement of like, well, I'm better than this person. Well, that's subjective, bro. Like, doesn't matter if you think. Clearly, currently, nobody else around you thinks that. And is that really a big deal if you're just doing this because you enjoy it and you're doing what you want to do, just not in that way as well? And that's where, when I seen this title, I was like, that's probably the one I should react to because I could take more back from it than another type of video that popped up. I put that one aside as well, but I'm not in a boy band, surprise, surprise. Like, so it's going to teach me group dynamics, but I'm doing a lot more solo stuff currently outside of Culture Clan. That group dynamics that I have learned have helped, but they're not the focus currently. And I'm kind of like, we'll say like in a solos era. So seeing this one for a decision for longevity, I'm like, that's the decision that when I left America was my choice, was I'm doing a long game because there's not, I don't think a lot of American rappers or artists that are focused on actually cultivating a global audience with a global perspective. They typically want the global artist or the global audience from an American perspective. And I'm like, now that I've lived outside of America for so long, I'm like, that's a terrible perspective because you miss and leave so much on the table when you do it that way. And I'm like, there's so much more that can be done. And I'd like to do that. And it's going to take a long time. It's not going to happen overnight. So I have to be willing to like do the hard work without any fucking accolades or anything important or any notoriety. Shit, I could die. Do you know who Lonnie Holly is? He's a world touring musician, been doing it for like the past like 50, 60 years. 74. I got to see him this year in May. Probably the last time he'll probably ever get to tour just based off of his age. And to see somebody from America touring like that probably nobody ever heard of, but still making good money and doing what he's loved, I'm like, yeah, that's cool. That's enough. I'm all right with that. But if you go into certain circles, that's a name that is very heavy. So that's why I'm like, there's so much more to this than just, you've got like a bunch of Billboard hits and that. Would I love to have those things and the scammies and all that? Sure. But to get to those things the way I want to, I've got to not play the game the way the game's been played. And to do that, I have to go play the game in another way. And that means I have to go like make a new path that's not been made before. And I don't think anybody's currently on the path I'm trying to like take. This is like the most long-winded video. And I'm sorry I've taken up this much time. But thank you for joining me. Please do hit that like, subscribe, Patreon's in the description. And I'll see you guys on the next one. I'm out of here. Peace.